Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm Andrew Kavanaugh. I just want to say thank you so much for coming back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the channel, we have a new movie collection that was just sent to me. I got this in today, so today's November 16th. Got this in, watched a little bit of everything on this set, and now I'm bringing you this review. I know this is kind of weird to put out 3 reviews in 1 week, but hey, that's what we did this week. You know, we were trying to meet the demand here. So this here is the Equalizer, the 3-movie collection. And this is a very fascinating set here. This was sent to me by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Big thank you to Sony for sending this out. Again, I am not endorsed by them. I'm not being paid by Sony or anything like that. But they do send me movies from time to time, and this was a real big one. When I found out that I was getting this in, I was very excited because I really enjoy these movies. Denzel Washington is awesome in these. Just a total badass in these, and I love it. I love these films. I really get a kick out of them. And so when the third one was announced that it was coming to 4K, but we were also getting this set, this set actually really intrigued me for a number of reasons. First and foremost, of course, because it has all 3 movies. Now, funny enough, I do have the first 2 films here already in 4K, and I'm pretty sure that I reviewed them on the channel here as well, but these are really solid 4K discs. And so on this set, the thing that makes this interesting, and I'm going to talk more about the technical aspects and stuff after we go through the sound and picture quality and all that. Once we get through that, I'm going to talk about some things that make this set very perplexing and also kind of just odd in certain ways. First and foremost, I'm going to jump right into the picture quality here. So something that is really interesting about these discs is the first 2 films have an all-new IMAX enhanced presentation. And what that means is the HDR10 has kind of been revamped and enhanced with this new IMAX kind of HDR on there, and the color palette has been changed a little bit. The overall structure of the color is this new IMAX enhanced type of thing. The picture quality on the first 2 films is honestly not that much of a difference. I do think there are certain colors that have been kind of tweaked a little bit. Black levels are really, really good. I mean, they were already great on the original 4K discs, but this new IMAX enhanced HDR10 color palette is really something to behold, especially in the first film. I really love the look of it. Now, my TV does have the ability to do that IMAX color, and the one thing I have to say about that IMAX look is when I changed it to that, I was very impressed with the look of the film. If you don't have a system that can do that IMAX enhanced HDR, or that color range, I should say, this set is really not worth it. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. That new HDR, that IMAX enhanced thing, it's great looking. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but I don't think it's as big of a step up from the older 4Ks to really warrant buying this for just the first 2 films. It looked really solid. Could I tell a big difference between that, between this and the Equalizer 2 older 4K disc? I couldn't really tell much of a difference, to be honest. It still looked fantastic. And, in terms of picture quality, I mean, it is as sharp as it can be. I mean, the movies look incredible, especially the third film in the series. The third one is probably the best looking one out of all of them, in all honesty. I think the first one is really up there. I mean, the first one has some incredible visuals throughout. and the colors in it are great. But that third movie with the Italy landscapes and just the, you know, that Amalfi Coast setting is just so gorgeous to look at in certain scenes. But it's also a very dark film. And one thing I have to say about the 4K disc for Equalizer 3 that's in this set is that HDR really works overtime on that disc. I mean, there are so many dark nighttime scenes that look spectacular. I mean, they may be some of the best nighttime scenes in any film that I have seen on 4K in a long time. I mean, they really are a knockout to look at. And, you know, the action scenes were great. The daytime scenes look bright and vivid. The movie just looks incredible. I mean, the movie just has a really great look to it, but that HDR really does an amazing job for all three discs. But as I mentioned, the first two, if you already own them on 4K, this is not going to be, you know, a big enough difference for you to purchase this entire set. In terms of audio quality, the audio quality on the third film, I'm going to start with the third film, is fantastic. It is a DTS-X audio mix in this set. Totally different from the standalone 4K that you can get for Equalizer 3. And this has been another big kind of strange thing with this set, is that the first two movies, when they were on 4K, these older discs I told you about earlier, those had Dolby Atmos sound mixes. This new set has DTS-X mixes exclusively on this set for the second and third film. What that means is there is no Dolby Atmos track on any of the films, even though those tracks are on the separate standalone releases. Now, the DTS-X on the second film I thought sounded great. Was it a big differential from the Dolby Atmos? I had a hard time telling the difference, to be completely honest with you. There wasn't enough of a difference to me for me to say, like, oh yeah, this is so much better or this is so much clearer. It was pretty similar. To be honest with you, in certain scenes for the second film, I thought that the Dolby Atmos was actually better and actually was clearer and the volume was balanced better. But in terms of sound effects and placement of sound effects and audio dialogue and music, I mean, it was pretty much on par. I didn't think it was anything really to write home about. Now, I don't have the standalone release for Equalizer 3, so I can't tell you what the Dolby Atmos sounds like in comparison to the DTS-X on Equalizer 3, but I will say the sound mix on Equalizer 3 I thought was incredible. I mean, the sound effects are amazing, the dialogue was crystal clear, the music sounded amazing. I didn't really see any issues with the audio at all. It was great. It was a great DTS-X immersive audio mix. The overheads are not used a whole heck of a lot on this one. There are maybe 2 or 3 instances where that's used, and they're used to great effect, but, you know, for the most part, it's just a surround sound track, but it sounded great. I really enjoyed it. And I had no complaints about the picture or the audio for the second and third film. Now, that being said, as I mentioned, the first film in this set here has that, you know, new IMAX enhanced color palette, but it doesn't have the Dolby Atmos track from this disc. It's a little weird. So this new set, the first film, only has a DTS HD 5.1 master audio. Now, this old disc did have that, but it also had a phenomenal Dolby Atmos track that is missing from this new set. Are you following me with this? Pretty confusing stuff, but for some reason, there is no Dolby Atmos track. Now, I will say, in my opinion, that's a step down. Now, I thought the DTS HD 5.1 on the first film in this set sounded really good. I mean, it sounded really, really good. But I'd rather have the Dolby Atmos. The Dolby Atmos to me was just a hair clearer. The volume on it was better. The bass, I think, was also better. The overheads were used. I mean, it's not as good of an audio track. And for some reason, it's just not included in this set, which is really a shame because the picture on this new disc is phenomenal for all three films, but that, the missing Dolby Atmos on the first one is a really strange thing. So I'm definitely going to keep this disc just for the audio alone, just for that. In terms of special features, this was another thing that I thought was kind of weird, is that there are no special features on any of the 4K discs on this set. The Blu-ray that is not included in this set, this is only 3 4K discs. There's the first film, the second and third films are stacked here. There's the third film underneath it. There's no special features on these, but it does include a digital copy to all 3 films, so you can watch the special features that way. But the fact that they just didn't include any of the special features from these previous releases or the third film, which actually had some really good special features on the standalone release. It's just kind of another odd omission. Just some really weird choices were made here, and it's kind of perplexing to me why Sony would choose to make this very odd set where, you get this exclusivity of certain things, but you lose other things. You don't get the special features, you don't get the Dolby Atmos on the first one, but you get this IMAX enhanced picture for all 3. It's a little odd, but if you don't have them, this is a great set to pick up just for value alone. If you'd rather just get the third film, if you already have the first 2, that's an option as well. So again, it's kind of one of those buyer beware type of things. But if you do like these movies, it is worth a pickup because they all look fantastic. The second and third one sound phenomenal with the DTS-X, and that first movie, even though it only has that DTS HD 5.1 surround track, it still sounds pretty good. One other little thing that I noticed also, that's kind of funny before I wrap up this review, they have changed the film to have burned-in subtitles. Instead of the standalone discs had, first movie now has a burned-in subtitle for when the Russian characters are speaking in their native tongue. It's no longer a digital pop-up English subtitle like you get when you're watching the movie on this disc here. I think the second movie also does that in the beginning sequence, in the introductory sequence. So, yeah, it's a little different. The subtitles are burned in. That may not be preferable for everyone. I thought it was more of a filmic type experience. If you do want to pick up the Equalizer 3-movie collection, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you use that link, then I get a little bit of help here on the channel. Not all movies that I review here on the channel are sent to me. I've gotten a few more in recent days, which is great, but most of the time I buy these movies. Like, I actually bought these 2 with my own money before I got this set, which is kind of funny. Also, if you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel below so I can keep bringing you reviews like this. What were your thoughts on this Equalizer 3-movie set? I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this. Definitely leave a comment down below. And until next time, guys, please stay safe and take it easy.